Welcome back to my video. In this one, we're going to make some pants and go to Canada, so you're in for a treat. I have been seeing these $150 or something crazy like that jeans from Free People, and I really wanted to buy them, but I told myself I can probably do that myself. So I went and I thrifted a pair of jeans, and I have made a sketch, which I will also put here. So let's go ahead and design my own pair of jeans with me. So here is my jeans. I hung them up next to my art. You can disregard the art, but I went ahead and purchased these tulip markers. So I'm gonna go ahead and sketch out first off on my jeans, my composition. So I wanted these pants to really represent pieces of me so I can carry them with me, and they kind of speak a little bit more about who I am, which I think is kind of fun in an everyday piece of clothing like a pair of pants. So I began by doing this old Polaroid camera to talk about I love taking photos. It's a joy of mine. It's kind of how I got into art, actually. I was taking photos of nature and then realized, hey, I could just paint this and that would be kind of cool. So that's kind of like what I started with, and then I wanted to include a loon, and there's several postcards that I've thrifted of some of my favorite places that I've included. So I just really hope you enjoy these fun jeans that I created, and I'll talk a little bit more about each piece as we go along. The story of this piece is Daniel and I lived in Boston for about a year, and while we were there, we loved to visit the White Mountain National Forest, and we bought this little plaque, which we now hang in our home, but I thought it would be cute to include that on the jeans as well. And then here's just a little morel mushroom. They grow wild near our house in California, where my parents live, and I just thought it would be really precious to put on there. This part goes with the aquatic theme with the loon and then the lake weed, but I just wanted this little guy to symbolize being mindful and being present out in nature. Now for this part of the video, I thought it would be fun to include our trip to New Brunswick, Canada for our residency for college. I'm getting my master's degree currently, and it's mostly online, but we were able to go for a week to experience in-person classes with the rest of our cohort, and it was such a blast. So here is us just getting a pre-meal before arriving at the building, and this was the best ramen I've ever had in my life. It was so good. What was really neat about here is you could literally just look out the window, and across the river was the border of Maine, which is crazy how close it was. I'm a sucker for a butterfly or a moth. I even have a moth tattoo that a friend did for me, and I love it so much, so I just thought it would be fun to include on the leg of the pant. This one was a little bit more random. I like vases, and there's been kind of a trend in the last couple of years to do vase art where people put things in the vase. I have a favorite artist that does these like frog vases that I think are super cool, so I just did a little green vase with mushies in it, and I like how it turned out.
Pitch.
This is a cute little salamander, again inspired by one of my favorite artists.
Really struck by the beauty.
It's so pretty.
Canada has something. This is like we would try to
pull me out from this cage I've known. Oh, pull me up from the roots I've grown. Oh,
There's deer out there.
she said keep me in my head, and I wish that I'd be yours.
Here we are exploring the Bay of Fundy, which if you didn't know, the Bay of Fundy has the highest rising tides of the entire world. So that means that like high tide is super high up and low tide is super far out.
I can't sleep, it's a nightmare, nightmare, nightmare. I can't breathe when you're not there, you're not there, you're not there. Oh, my head goes numb and my heart beats fast when it feels like that. Panic attack. Pull me in, you can take my hand. Oh, feel it, yes, so I know that you understand. Oh, 'cause you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, making my tax pay for your fudge rounds. And I only know what I've been told, 'cause if Tucker says, then you know it's gold. I can't breathe when you're not there, you're not there, you're not there. I can't sleep, it's a nightmare, nightmare, nightmare. I can't breathe when you're not there, you're not there, you're not there. Oh, my pull me out from this cage I've known. Oh, pull me up from the roots I've grown. Oh, the things you said keep me in my head, and I wish that I'd be yours instead. And you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds.
As you can see, I had the absolute best time in Canada. The days were filled with just being near the coast. near the Bay of Fundy, exploring, beachcombing, having ciders and brews, and beautiful conversations and community. And we ended the trip with a night of kind of like a talent show, sharing our art and music, and it was the most beautiful thing. I think I could cry. It was so good. So I hope you guys enjoyed just viewing a little bit of my Canada road trip. And now back to the pants. I love this Rubik's Cube. I think it's so quirky and fun, and then I had to include a little hummingbird on the back of the pants and some flowers, so I think that's kind of fun.
300 pounds, make my tax pay for your fudge rounds. I only know what I've been told, 'cause if Tucker says, then you know it's cold. I can't breathe when you're not there, you're not there, you're not there. I can't sleep, it's a nightmare, a nightmare, a nightmare. I can't breathe when you're not there, you're not there, you're not there. Well, my head goes numb and my heart beats fast when it feels like that.
Here I am finally getting into the paint. So I bought this special fabric medium that turns acrylic paint into like a fabric paint, which just means it's like a little bit more flexible. And I believe you have to heat set it, which I didn't do yet, even though I've worn them like several times. But you know, I don't have a washer and dryer, so that's a bit of a problem for me. But you know, we'll figure out at some point. But this is Monument Valley. I was able to visit the Navajo Nation in 2021 with a friend, and it's the largest indigenous reservation in the United States currently, and it's home of the Dene people, more commonly known as like Navajo. And there's so much interesting history surrounding the Navajo people. They were the Navajo code talkers in World War II that created an unbreakable code using their language. The Navajo code talkers really speak of such resiliency in the face of cultural assimilation and the forcing and removal of identity in the United States. That is a part of our history in the past and in the present, and especially for me, as I travel to national parks and venture outside, it's just an important reminder that these lands were stolen, and there is a reckoning and reconciliation in the United States that has yet to occur. But I think it is encouraging to see how national parks have partnered with Native voices in management and conservation, and I would love to see more of that. For me, it's just an important reminder that immigrants, the indigenous, and other cultures make America great, not just whiteness. For our birthdays and anniversaries on the way back from Canada, Daniel and I decided to camp a night in Millinocket, Maine, which is just outside of Baxter State Park and the highest point in Maine, which is Mount Katahdin.
Daniel's putting his tooties in. We got a little fire going. What do you think? It's beautiful. We have one, it just always feels weird to bring it. I'm sorry. It's okay. It's so pretty. That's so beautiful.
That's the mountain.
There's Mount Katahdin, the highest mountain in Maine. And we're just out here on Lake Millinocket, paddleboarding. Hi! You're just a little baby. Wow.
So,
Hi. My sweet man is paddling me like the Queen of Sheba. Sunset.
And now, since you've seen basically the last couple weeks of my life, it's time to finish these pants together. I had to include Lake Tahoe probably because it's one of my favorite places in the world, and it's also where my family went every summer for family vacation and where we continue to go. I'm actually so excited. In a couple weeks here, we're leaving for California and for Lake Tahoe, and I am going to live it up, baby. I really enjoy how the colors of these pants ended up being like green, blue, and a little hint of like red brown. I think that's very nice and some of my favorite colors, so it worked out well. Then I had to include Glacier National Park, one for its history, two because it's a national park that I find really beautiful that I'd always wanted to visit, and it's three, my most recent adventure with Daniel's family, which I think is really special. I had the best time going to Glacier National Park with Honey and Freddie, Daniel's aunt and uncle. And here are the finished pants. I love how they turned out. I think they're much more granola and naturey than the ones I would have bought. And I have the added bonus of just the personal memories embedded into each little illustration I have on there. And I got to choose the color and fit, so that's really nice too. Alright, so here are the pants. Hey Eggie. She's got her coat on. I feel like my head is